Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those who are new, my name is Essa and today I'm joined by my very amazing, lovely husband,
Robin.
And today we want to talk about a question that I have been asked so many times. It is how we relocated to the UK. So this is just going to be a video of how the whole process went, how long we've been trying to come to the UK, and what if this process would be of any help to you guys. So to get started, why we wanted to move to the UK? Why did you want to move to the UK, you?
So for me, one of the main reasons why I wanted to move to the UK was, I think for the longest time I had actually been able to try to come to the UK, just to be able to have a different perspective of life. I think all of us were made different, so there are different people who want to be able to maybe stay in one country. But at a particular point in time, I thought it was good for me to be able just to come to this country that we're currently in right now, just to be able to have a different perspective of life. And at the same time, I always fancied being able to come and study in the UK. At that particular point in time, maybe the first time I was applying to come to the UK, I had not yet thought about how I'll be able to come and start studying here. But all in all, I think of importance for me was just to be able to come here and just have a different perspective of life, see how life is here, at the same time also gain some level of education, gain some level of understanding of the things that are here. So I think practically that's it. That's one of the reasons actually I came, not actually one, that's some of the reasons why I wanted to come to the UK.
For me personally, I've always wanted to come to the UK since I was young. For those people who don't know, I've been in the UK twice before this. I was here in 2001 with my mom and my sister, and then we came again in 2010 for my brother's wedding. So UK has always been one of those places where I knew I was going to end up. I hoped I was going to end up, and luckily I got someone who we had the same prospects, because even in our relationship, for those who've watched us before, you've seen that we've moved cities a couple of times. So we've always been a family that we used to change places where we were living in. And for the last time, we told ourselves when we settled back in Nairobi, we said we were not going to leave Nairobi unless it was going out of the country. And luckily enough, we were both aligned in those prospects, and we ended up coming to the UK. And from his conversation, I think you can also gather that we came with the student visa. So he's doing his master's in the UK. Do you want to say which master's you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm currently pursuing a master's in digital marketing and communication. I have vast experience in business and marketing. I think for the last 12 years now, I've actually just been doing business and marketing, working for different companies. So for me, I thought for me to be able to get myself maybe into an executive position would be for me to be able to have a holistic view of how businesses are actually run. So I thought, because I've been so much in the more of the sales department most of the time, it would be good for me to be able to also have a marketing perspective. So combining all these things up together, I'll have a holistic view of how businesses are run. So that's the reason why I actually took up digital marketing communication.
Yeah, and then now for the UK, it has always been that when you're doing a master's or a PhD, you're able to come with your dependent. So that's how he was able to bring me and the kids along. So for those who've been asking, we came with a student visa and the dependent visa. And unfortunately, that has been changed. So now master students are not allowed to come with dependents. So that's why, like, for people who've been asking me, I've been saying that it's not a visa that can help you anymore. Yes, someone can come and do their masters, but the UK is trying to get rid of dependents as much as they can. So we were actually lucky enough to be the last group of people to come with dependents in the UK.
Yeah. So, but another thing is, you can still be able to come with your dependents to the UK if you are actually coming for a PhD level,
yeah,
or a research level, I think masters.
Research
masters, you can still be able to come with your dependents to the UK. So it's still something you can easily be able to check up on the UK VI platform. And yeah, just check it out and then see if it's something you want to be able to do. Just check it out and hopefully you'll be able to get whatever suits you.
So one good thing about the students' route that we chose, why we chose it, was because for him, he's only limited to 20 hours of work time. But for me, I have no limits on working. So I can work whatever time I want. I can do whatever kind of business I want. So initially, we had thought about me doing the studies and then him being the dependent, so he would be able to do business and hustle like more. But the way God planned it, now we ended up the other way. So he ended up doing the masters and I've ended up working. So yeah, how long did the process take? Like he mentioned, we've tried to come to the UK for some time. So we started the process in 2019.
Yeah.
2019.
2019. Yeah, 2019.
Yeah. So in 2019, we didn't think of doing the student route first. We thought about him doing like visiting, coming to see my brother who was already living here. I have two brothers who live here. So he was coming here to visit and then see prospects and look at schools as well.
Yeah.
Oh, we actually thought about schools at that time, yeah.
We did.
So he was coming to look at schools because he had been accepted to some schools. So he wanted to come look at just how the UK is.
Yeah.
Senior.
Yeah.
And then just we can see how to go from there. But then he got denied.
So my visa actually got denied twice.
Yeah.
Actually applied for a visa the first time, got denied. The second time again got denied because of some flimsy reasons. But luckily enough, SS's brother is actually a lawyer, so he was actually able to
sue
the UK
UKVI.
and I was actually called and I was told just to take my passport to the visa center. I think it's called TLS in Nairobi, and they were able to give me the visa. So that particular point in time I was supposed to travel, but unfortunately what happened is COVID came up, I wasn't able to travel, and then the
past 6 months,
the 6 month period that was actually given for the visa elapsed. The subsequent one, I actually applied to be able to get a visa again, got a visa again, but unfortunately the second one, what happened was, I think there were countries that have been placed on the red list by UK, so you can all be able to travel to the UK at this particular point in time. So Kenya was one of those countries. I'd actually even thought of going through Sudan and going through Uganda.
Then the time you were supposed to travel, Uganda now crossed again to the red list. So we thought about Sudan again. Like it was really, really hectic.
Yes.
And so at the end of it, we were just like, it wasn't meant to be. So we just stopped it. And then we stopped the whole prospect of going to the UK for some time. We moved to Kisii at that time.
Yeah.
So he had gotten a different job. So we moved to Kisii and we just went quiet about going to the UK and the prospects of coming here. And then we started again in 22.
23 actually. Just
23, beginning of 23, yeah.
Beginning of last year actually.
Yeah. So we were thinking of, should we do this? Should we think about it again? And then, like I've been telling you guys of late, like how God just planned everything for us. It just, when we really needed that confirmation of, do we do this? Do we take this on? Do we start this whole process again? We just got a confirmation. It was like, you're going to go to the UK. So we started the process and we started by applying for schools. We used so many different ways of applying for schools. We applied directly to the schools. He got some agencies.
Yeah, I think just one agency, right?
It was two.
Just one or two. Yeah, actually two agencies, two different agencies in town. I think you should be able to share with your...
Yeah, anyone who wants the contacts.
Anyone wants the contacts, definitely.
Yeah. So anyone who wants the contacts of the agencies that we used, we will be willing to share the contacts of the ladies who are able to help us apply for school. So basically, when you use an agency, they apply for you to the schools directly. So they're basically the talking point with the school. So the school generally doesn't communicate with you directly. They communicate through the agent, unless there's some minor things that the school needs from you. And then, so they gave us a few options of which schools we wanted to go to.
Yeah.
And luckily we landed on Manchester Metropolitan.
Yeah.
And we landed on it because it was more affordable than the other schools, and we also had a payment plan of paying. So it wasn't like you had to pay everything in one go. We knew we'd be able to split the payments throughout the year. Yeah. So his course is 1 year, so we knew we'd be able to pay like four installments.
Yeah, it's 4 installments. Actually, 3 installments.
Oh, it was 3 installments plus deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then what basically happens is the agency also applies for the visa for you. But when we got to that point, we decided to do something different, which most agencies don't encourage because it's like they're losing out on you. But because for me, my brother was a barrister here in the UK and he knows the whole system and everything, we just knew it would be better for him to help us apply for the visa, which because he was able to go through the whole thing, he knew what to do, what not to do, and so he did the application for us instead of us using the agency. Anything you want to add on that? Anything I've missed out?
I think maybe also another thing is because we were a bit, how do I put it? We were a bit hesitant because we had actually applied to so many schools, but unfortunately it was taking too much time for us to get the replies. But what I can also be able to say is all the schools that we actually applied to, I can say about 95% of all the schools I applied to eventually got back to me and actually gave me an offer letter. So for anyone,
but they got back to us after we had started the process with Manchester Metropolitan.
Manchester Met. So definitely, so I think the most important thing is for someone who actually wants to be able to apply to come to the UK, it'll be imperative for you to be able to start early enough so that by the time that you want to be able to apply for your visa, you're planning all these other things, I think you should be fine. The only problem with us is we had applied a bit late because we had not yet made the decision to be able now to fully now leave Kenya and come to the UK. Yeah. So
we started his applications in like April.
April actually.
Yeah. So it started in like April, and we were supposed to be coming in September. So it was a really short span. But if you want to start, you can start now. We're in January. You start now, apply for September. You'll be able to do everything in good time. So for the whole process of how we did the application and everything, so like we said, we started with applying for schools. Now, one thing about applying for schools is you have to be very thorough with your application. You can't just apply like you're applying to any university, you're doing anything just haphazardly. Like the personal statement had to be really well done. Did you have help with the personal statement?
No, not really. To some extent.
But at least the good thing is the agencies, they guide you on what the school needs to see. So they'll give you like talking points, topics on how to arrange it and everything. So the personal statement, I think, is the most important one because that's where the school knows why you want to study there, if you're someone they can take seriously, and your transcripts and everything. So you have to have all that together. Then after we got accepted to Manchester Metropolitan, the next step was paying the deposit.
Yeah. So the deposit by then was £3,000. So after paying the
deposit.
So after paying the deposit, Manmet, as we call it, Manmet here. So Manchester Metropolitan University were able to send me the confirmation of acceptance of studies, right?
Yeah.
And then, so once they give you this, is the document you're now supposed to be able to use to be able to apply for your visa. So,
because the CAS is the most important document. Without the CAS, there's nowhere you're going, there's no application you're starting, there's nothing you're doing.
So you need to be able to have this document first. So you're able to pay the £3,000. And now I am aware that the confirmation of study, CAS, for you to be able to get the COS, you need to be, so CAS, sorry.
CAS, yeah.
For you to get the CAS, you need to be able to have £5,000. They've actually increased the amount for, I think, this intake in January and also subsequently in May and September. But post this now, you can easily be able to apply for your visa.
But also the thing is, different schools have different requirements.
Yeah.
There are schools that need you to pay half. There are schools that need you to pay maybe 2,000. There are schools like that's why you need to apply to so many different schools and look at the most affordable ones, the ones that the process is easier. And all that you can get online, because we are able to get all that information online. Just look cheapest universities in the UK, application process and everything. Plus also on YouTube, there's so many videos that talk about the whole process.
Definitely.
And then once we got the CAS, the next step was going to IOM. So we knew beforehand that one thing that the UKVI needs when you're doing the application is getting your TB results.
Yeah.
So your TB certificate, yeah? And the only place where you can get that in Kenya is IOM, which is in Gigiri, just behind Village Market. So that's the only place you can get it in Kenya. Don't let anyone tell you that you can get it anywhere else. A long time ago, I knew it used to be like Nairobi Hospital or something, but right now it's IOM only. So we knew that we were going to need the certificate, which they also advise you to do early because it takes some time. No, it doesn't take time. It takes time for you to get the CAS. So we waited. So once we had applied for we paid for the deposit and everything. We had about a month of waiting for the CAS. So that's when we started the process of doing the TB test. So that when the CAS came through, we already had the TB certificate. So you go to IOM, the website, and just book a reservation. And then we went, all of us, plus the kids. So me and Robin, we had an X-ray done. We didn't have any blood work done.
No.
Yeah, just an X-ray. Then we went, the kids were just asked questions and they just check if you have TB or have history of TB. And you get your certificate in like an hour.
Yeah.
So the whole process, we started at around 6 a.m. and finished at about 1 p.m.
Yeah.
2 p.m. Yeah. So it's basically half of your day.
And I think also one of the reasons why we took so much time is because we were 4 of us. So,
yeah.
And we have to go to different places, so I think that's the reason why. But I think if you just you by yourself, you should not be able to take so much time.
Yeah. And then the visa application. So once we got the CAS, we were able to now start the visa application. And for the visa application, you go to the UKVI website where they have a place for you to apply. But so where you go for biometrics and everything is called TLS. Yeah?
Yeah.
Which is in Westlands.
Yeah.
Do you remember the name of the building?
9 West. 9 West.
Yeah, 9 West. So we went there. The TLS process was very quick, especially because we paid for. Actually, they make everyone pay for priority. The way they had made it on their website, and if you wanted to do just normal route,
understandable,
you'd have to wait for like
couple of weeks,
like 3 weeks, yeah. And because for us now our process was like needed to go really fast because we started really late. We needed to get the results as soon as possible. So we paid for the priority, which priority takes about 3 days.
We didn't pay for priority, we paid for super priority.
Oh, we paid for super priority, yeah.
Which was supposed to take 24 hours.
Which was supposed to take 24 hours, we were supposed to get the next day. Did we get the next day?
Yes, we did.
Oh.
We didn't go to pick it the next day, we actually just...
Oh, yeah,
we got the results the next day.
So, and then the thing for super priority is he's the only one who pays for super priority as the main applicant. And then us, we paid for standard, but because the application is one, by the time they finish with his, they just drag along the ones for the dependents. So we were lucky enough to just have a family application done all together. So the super priority was £1,000.
I think so.
1,000 and something pounds. And then we were able to get now the results on the next day, which we waited for like 2 days when we would both be free and be able to pick up our visas.
Yeah.
Then we went to pick up again at TLS, so they give you an appointment and then you go and pick it up. So yeah, that was basically it. That was the whole process of how we got the visa to come to the UK. Once we got the visa, it was just a smooth process of coming here. And if you want to know about how we got accommodation, there's a video I've put up on that. But oh yeah, one thing we forgot to mention was that the agencies are completely free. I know a lot of people get concerned about agencies because of being made to pay, but the agencies for students, for getting you schools, are completely free. You don't have to pay anything, and they organize from application to you coming to the UK for free. So that's basically it for this video. Do you have anything else that we can...
Not really.
If you have any questions that you'd like to ask, you can reach out to me personally. But I think we've covered everything. I think we've covered the whole process of how we got here, and if it is a decision we'd take again,
We'll definitely do it.
definitely, yeah. After 4 months of being in the UK, I think it was a decision we did to better our family, and it's a decision we don't regret so far. One thing that a lot of people also debate is whether to come with children or not. I know someone asked me why we decided to come with our kids and not leave them behind and bring them back later. What would you say about that?
I think for me, as I've said earlier, I think all of us, we've worn different faces, different fingerprints, and different everything. So I think each and every single person has to choose whatever they want to go to do with themselves and their kids. For us, we thought it wise for us just to go with our kids because we didn't want to leave them back home. Not that we don't have people back home who will be able to take good care of them, but for us, I think it's important for us just to be able to go everywhere with our kids. We
Yeah.
have been going to different places across Kenya. I think we've lived in Machakos, Mombasa, Kisumu, Kisii,
Yeah.
and all these places we live together. We've always been able to go around with our kids. So I think of importance for us just to be able to just go around with them, whatever it is. And I also feel like we have very short span of just living with our kids, taking care of them, and doing whatever it is you're supposed to do with your kids, just raising them up. So I think each and every single day counts for me. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why we thought we should.
And
be
one
able to
thing I
have
can
our
also
kids.
add on what he said is that for us, the decision was so easy for us to be able to move to the UK because we wanted to better the lives of our kids. We wanted to give our kids a better life compared to what we had. It's not that we had a bad life, but we wanted to give them better and more. So the whole point of us moving here was to better their lives. It wouldn't make sense for us to be able to leave them behind. We wanted them to experience everything. If it was going to be good or bad, we wanted to go through everything with them. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I think that's it for us. I'm so glad that you guys have been able to join us on this video. I'm so glad that we've been able to have Robin on a sit-down video. We've never done that. You can suggest more videos that you'd want to see him in. I've been telling him to shoot a day in his life in school. So maybe you guys can comment and encourage him, and maybe he can do that for us. But from my side, I'd just like to say thank you once again for all the support that you give me. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you again in the next video.
Peace out.
Bye.